Hey, what's going on, everybody? Cornbread Trucker here, coming to you from the pilot here in Sioux City, Iowa. Getting ready to go pick up a load here in a little bit. Got over here yesterday. My window was from 8 to 1700, and I called them last night. They told me last night it wouldn't be done until 5 o'clock this evening, but I went ahead and gave them another call this morning, and they said it'd be ready about 1 o'clock for me to come by pick up. It's a live load, but they'd have the order ready to be loaded. So we'll see how long it takes them once I head over there. This I took a load up to Milwaukee, and you know, I had that snowstorm that was blowing in over there, and I knew pretty quick after I got unloaded that it was probably going to be slim pickings for loads, just by the time it was taken for them to get back to me. And anyways, they finally did. They sent me a load, and there was also a message with it. The trainee, my fleet manager, is training someone, and he had sent a message with it. Hey, what do you think about this one? And I knew right away when I seen that it's probably something that I didn't really want, and they kind of knew I probably didn't want it. And I took a look at it, and it was going to run me kind of northwest of Milwaukee, and then it was going to Logan, Utah. And we already had a snowstorm coming in, and you know, I don't care to deal with that. I'm not anxious to get stuck. You know, when I'm out here, I like to go. I like to make money. I do not like to do a lot of setting. So I refuse that. Now I'm going to come back and talk about this setting. I do not like to do that, but I refuse that load. And, you know, a little while later, they sent another load, and it was going to have me run over to Sioux City, which I still had to run into the storm. However, it was a little bit further south. I hated having the deadhead that far, but the load paid well enough that it really made up for the deadhead. And so, you know, I went ahead and did that. And you know, so basically, you know, I had really a good day's drive from Milwaukee, Wisconsin to Sioux City, Iowa. And then, you know, still had to wait for this load. Now, it does say in the notes that I can drop at the 90, as long as the reefer's full, which I do every time. I never drop a load, a trailer anywhere without that reefer being full. I just kind of feel like if I'm dropping it, I need to do everything I can to make sure that load is secure, and that means that until it gets unloaded. Now, once I drop it, I can only control what I can control, and the one thing I can control is that it has fuel, so that if it takes them time to get to it, it's not going to run out of fuel. Now, if they take too long to get to it, that's on them. But as long as I am authorized to drop in a certain time frame, I will make sure it's full of fuel. And, you know, I do the same whether I'm dropping an empty trailer. You know, always fuel. I do always fill it before I drop it. You know, and I've seen specifically in our terminals, I've seen trailers that were dropped that were not full and or washed out. And that's another thing. I always make sure it's washed out too. So, but going back on the setting thing, and that goes back to being a lease operator. As a company driver, you want miles, and you don't want to set. And as a lease operator, owner operator, you're getting paid per load. Now, granted, if I don't have to set and I can get that load and I can go and deliver that load and get on to the next load, that's always ideal. But it seems to me like when I bust ass and I'm running hard, and I'm trying to get somewhere and get a load dropped and get onto that next load, it just always seems that it turns out not to be a great week. But the weeks where I end up having to sit a little while waiting for a load, somehow it always works out to where it turns out to still be a really good week. And I just thought I'd kind of talk about that a minute, that sometimes you don't have to run yourself into the ground just to make a good living. Sometimes just being patient, taking the time you need to take care of yourself can be just as important as running. Now, I don't know that there's any statistics to this. I can just tell you from my experience. However, I still like to run. I mean, that's who I don't like to sit. There is nothing for me really to do in a truck stop except get my laundry done, maybe get something to eat, get some sleep, get a shower. Truck stops don't impress me none. Honestly, sitting up front, I really don't care to see drivers walk around. I don't need the headaches of watching somebody try and back next to me. I do it from time to time just because there's nothing better to do. But I just prefer, not being that truck stop. I'd rather be going down the road. And it's probably safe to assume that everybody else would prefer that too. I don't care to really sitting. Now, terminals, I do not like sitting at the terminal. I go there because there's some business to take care of, and then I really want to get out, and sometimes that's not easy. But really, that's kind of what I was really wanting to talk about, is just the fact that sometimes, you don't have to kill yourself out here to make a good living. I understand it though, as company drivers, you want every mile you can get, just like I want every load I can get. But there comes a point where you've got to be reasonable with about what you're going to make, and and you still need time to take care of yourself. And so don't stress yourself out just because you have to sit a little while waiting for a load. It is what it is. There's so many things that have to take place in order for you to get your load and deliver your load. So just try not to stress over that. If you're like me and you want to be on the road, you want to be running, just don't stress yourself out of it. Just go ahead and take care of the things that you need to take care of. Enjoy that little bit of downtime the best you can. If you got some TV or stream, Netflix or whatever, just try and kick back, watch some movies, and just kind of take care of yourself. Get out and get some exercise. You can do that in a truck stop parking lot, but if you can find a little better place to walk, I recommend that. Like I've mentioned before, some people drive through these parking lots at 30 miles an hour. It's really ridiculous. But honestly, a lot of these aren't very clean. Something that's kind of brought up in the driver meeting at Prime. Look, Prime, if you haven't been to a Prime terminal, you need to. They have some beautiful terminals. they really not only care about it for them that are there at the yard, but it's somewhere where a driver can go to and actually be proud that they have a terminal like that. However, there are people out here that just don't care about anything. It's just all about them. And maybe they didn't mean to, maybe they just didn't know no better. But you know, they brought up in the driver meeting today, people throwing their mattresses just out wherever they were at, and some of them throwing them in dumpsters, and that's, you know, I get the thought of at least you threw it in a dumpster, but they would rather you take that to the detail shop. They have a way of disposing of the old mattresses. You know, there's people that will just open up their door and throw their trash out, and you won't even take it won't even attempt to take it to the trash can. You know, the terminals are really nice, and yet there's always somebody that's just, you know, just don't care, and they throw their crap out. You know, it just really disrespectful. I mean, and lazy, really, to not be willing to just take it to the trash. I mean, there's so many places to take trash to. Yeah, there may not be something right there. It's really not too far away to where you can go and dispose of your trash. But Prime does. If you haven't been, you know, Prime terminals are really nice. And, you know, like the Springfield terminal, they have basically the old showers actually are being replaced right now. They built another area and put in new showers and stuff, and once they get done with the old showers, we're going to have even more showers than we did before, and they're all brand new, and then more bunk rooms too. So you know, they really do a good job, and that's at the Springfield terminal. And the Salt Lake terminals are nice. I really like the showers there. The one thing I do not like, and it's a water saver thing, I don't like the sinks there. The automated deal, it just, you know, I'd like to kind of get some water running and kind of leave it running for a little bit. And then I've not been to the Pinson terminal. I honestly cannot tell you why, but I do try to avoid that terminal. There, no particular reason. I think it's just the area. And, you know, so I'm not trying to, there's probably not a damn thing wrong with the Pinson terminal. I just try to avoid it. I don't really understand why. I do need to try and get in there sometime. I've never been to that terminal. Manuka, you know, it's new. It's small. They have a washout bay there, but it's just going to be for trailer washouts only. They've got a tanker bay. You know, nice little drop yard. You can get a shower there. It's different. It's not like the showers that we have at I won't say Pinson because I've not been there, but like at Salt Lake City and Springfield. And there's no cafeteria there, but there is kind of a little driver's lounge and some machines. And great if you honestly need to get some work done. I find it easier to get things done there at Manuka than really anywhere else. I need to find out if I can drop this pre-pass off at Manuka. I might, of course this trip I'm not going to go by there. I could, but that would be out of route. But I do need to get by one of the terminals and get this pre-pass dropped. But anyway, so yeah, but the terminals are really nice. I have not been to the new Laredo. I don't know if we call that a terminal, but we had a little drop yard kind of outside of Laredo, and I know that they have, I don't know if they built a facility or if they just purchased some property or something. I have not been to the new Laredo yard yet, but you know, so I'd like to get, you know, down there and check that out. I really wish Prime would put a terminal. I know we got the couple of little drop yards there in Florida. I wish we would get a terminal in Florida. And I know freight's kind of a little touchy and stuff down that way, but you know, we got the one in Princeton, and we got Manuka, we got Salt Lake City and Springfield, and we got drop yards, but we really don't have a terminal in the south. We got one in the west, we got one in the northeast. I guess I should just say east and not northeast, but it's north there in Princeton, in Springfield. So it would be nice to have one kind of in the south there. And honestly, it just my bias, but I'd like to have one in Florida. But anyways, that's really about all I've got. Nothing really too exciting about this video. Nothing too exciting really going on, except that I'm getting closer to my cruise. I have a person of interest that would like for me to train him. Seems like it'd be a good fit. I've got to get in. I'm gonna have to do a recert for my for training. Being how when I went flatbed, they removed me off the trainer status. So I'll have to go through that again. That's not a big deal. We'll get that knocked out of the way, and then hopefully, right around the first part of May, middle of May, somewhere right in there, we'll get him on board and we'll get him all trained up. So that's really about it. That's all I've got to say. So keep paying it forward, stay safe, and we'll talk to you later on.